Hey, what's going on, guys? Welcome back. So we've got a fresh update for Forza Horizon 6. The big thing here is that Playground has gone after a manual clutch issue, and this is one of those fixes that probably sounds minor until you are the one dealing with it in the middle of a run. Before this update, players using manual by clutch could run into a problem where clutch kicking while drifting just was not working properly. That is a huge deal if you spend any time drifting because clutch kicks are part of the rhythm. They help you keep the car rotated, keep the slide going, and keep the whole thing feeling controlled instead of messy. When that stops working, it throws off the entire flow. It is the kind of bug that makes a smooth drift feel awkward for no good reason. So fixing that is a pretty welcome move. On top of that, there was another issue tied to the same control setup, where the game was allowing instant shifting by using the handbrake and shift buttons together. That is clearly not how it should work. And even if some people may have seen it as a weird little shortcut, it still creates an inconsistency in how the car responds. In a racing game, especially one that leans so hard into car control and tuning, consistency is everything. If the game is letting you do something unintended through a control combination, it can mess with balance, timing, and the general feel of the driving model. So getting that cleaned up makes sense, and it should help keep manual clutch behaving the way players expect it to. The other fix in this update is for some Horizon drifting sessions that were ending abruptly right after starting. And that one is especially frustrating because nothing kills the mood faster than loading into a session, getting ready to run it, and then having the whole thing fall apart almost immediately. Drift events are supposed to be about momentum, timing, and staying in the zone. If a session is ending right after it begins, that is not just a tiny inconvenience. It is the kind of thing that wastes time and breaks the experience completely. So this patch addresses that as well, which should make those sessions much more reliable going forward. What I like about this update is that it feels focused. It is not trying to change everything. It is just fixing a couple of issues that directly affect how the game plays moment to moment. That kind of update might not sound exciting at first, but it often ends up being the best kind because you feel it right away when you go back in. Drifting should feel responsive. Sessions should actually stay active. Controls should do what they're supposed to do without weird side effects. That is the whole point, really. And for players who spend a lot of time messing around with drift builds, clutch setups, and more technical driving styles, this is the sort of patch that can make the game feel better without changing the overall structure of anything. The driving experience is always going to live or die on the little details. If the clutch kick is off, the whole line is off. If a session shuts down for no good reason, that takes the fun out of it fast. So even though this is just a hot fix, it is still the kind of maintenance that keeps the game in a good spot. It is also worth saying that updates like this usually do not get the same level of attention as a new car pack or a big feature drop, but they are still important. A racing game can have all the content in the world, but if the basic systems are acting weird, people notice immediately. That is why fixes like this matter. They are not there to make a giant marketing splash. They are there so the game feels better when you are actually driving, drifting, and just playing it normally. So yeah, that is the core of this one. The clutch kick issue is fixed, the instant shifting behavior tied to handbrake and shift inputs is fixed, and those drifting sessions that were ending too early should now behave properly. It is a pretty clean little update, and for the players who are running into these problems, it is definitely the kind of thing that should make the game feel less frustrating right away. Sometimes the best updates are the ones that just get out of the way and let the game work like it should, and this feels like exactly that.